Are at how to do a paper weave part 2, and we are almost finished with our first one. And as I'm threading this through on the last one and I am lining it up, I'll take a little tape, hold that in place. Now to do the last one, it's going to be my black here, so I'm going to go and very carefully make sure that it fits. Mine is a little thick, so I'm going to trim it down. So I've trimmed that piece down. Now I'm going to put it in. It's going to go over. Dolphin goes into the water. Dolphin goes out of the water. Dolphin goes into the water. Dolphin comes out of the water. Dolphin goes into the water. Dolphin goes out. Dolphin goes in. Dolphin goes out. And then there's the last one. Now, technically, I could probably fit one more, but it's going to be a really tight fit, so I don't know if I want to put that one on. Oops, I got to put that in. I did that wrong. Look at that. So let's stop. And there we go. We finished it up. I even added the tiny little one just to make sure that it had a nice square finish. I cut a piece so that it would fit in there, and it also balances it out with the blue. Now, we are creating pattern and repetition, which is a foundational element of art. It is a requirement of the state of Minnesota that we teach children about the foundational elements. And so we are doing pattern. And if you notice, it's a checker pattern. So it's every other one. We also have a pattern where we go green, blue, green, black, blue, green, black, blue, green. Red, violet, blue, green, black, blue, green. And what I'm really doing is this is a point of emphasis or emphasis point, and it provides variety. So variety is another foundational element, and that's what we have when we have the different colors. And then we're emphasizing this row right here by changing the color. We're also, we talked about pattern, and then we have repetition. So repetition is where a thing repeats, and we've got repetition occurring just in the pattern that we have. Now, when we flip this over, we got a really nice weave pattern that occurs here, and a very pretty project when it's done. It also, in science, we can talk about now, the paper feels thicker, and we've increased its tensile strength. We've folded it, and we've added 2 layers of paper. So by adding 2 layers of paper, we've made it much stronger. So that's in relationship to exponential, which is what's going on right now in the world today. Here is an example of the complicated one. What I'm looking for in the complicated one is a much smaller, tighter weave. So we went 1/2 inch on the strips here. And I'm also looking for you to take a picture out of a magazine, 2 pictures out of a magazine, and create a weave and a pattern that is much different than when you use just block colors. Now, famous weavers, when we look at the world today, the Navajo of the Southwest United States, the indigenous people that are called the Navajo, the Dene, they were also the code talkers during World War II. They have some of the best weavers in the world, and they create some of the best blankets with their weaving techniques. The Hopi also weave. And then another one that creates tapestries that's very local to Minnesota is the Hmong people. And we have a population of Hmong throughout the state, St. Paul area, over by Walnut Grove. And they create woven tapestries that document their history of their tribal group or their clan or their family group. And it's really interesting. It's all done on a loom. And so this is very much that same process. So excited to do this project, and I hope you are too. You need to have one simple loom and then one more advanced loom. And I suggest playing with materials. If you don't have colored pieces of paper, I've got a pattern paper here that would work really well. And you could also color your paper. So I could take a crayon, or I've got an oil pastel here. If I had any paints, if I had spray paints in the garage, I could spray paint my paper and create a color. And now I could cut this out, and then I have a color to work with to create my different colors and my patterns. So There's always a way to solve